Wave a storm of fire and steel. 9 divisions march toward the battlefield is real. Smoke and turning clogs the sky, the ground begins to quake. Hell's unleashed, the Premier League, the earth begins to shake. Rally cries, the clash of boots. Tides of chaos in pursuit. This is our time, this is our fight. 57 teams ignite the night. Hell let loose, the battle's begun. Only one champion when it's done. Through the trenches, through the flames, the squads all take their stand. Every shot a test of will, each move is carefully planned. Grenades explode, the air is thick, the flags rise and fall. TPL, the Champions League, who will conquer all? Lines are drawn, the maps unfold. Hearts of iron, spirits bold. This is our time, this is our fight. 57 teams ignite the night. Hell let loose, the battle's begun. Only one champion when it's done. This is our fight. 57 teams ignite the night. Hell let loose, the battle's begun. Only one champion when it's done.
Get the rocket out, takes out the garrison and a large amount of them, and really teetering on the edge is, oh my god!
That's so many dead bodies. Oh la la. Yeah, the big shot, the petit-sachet, the particular sachet.
Oh, no! Hello and welcome back, friends, to the Insiders Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Caparzo, joined by my fellow insider, as always, Snow. Snow, it's been a busy week and previous weekend in the Premier League, and we have a lot to recap, but I know we wanted to talk about a couple things before we kick off with the guests, so I will turn it over to you, my friend.
How's everyone doing? Just want to say... we got a good episode today, but did want to just say, at least me and Caparzo, R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. Very sad. Get shot for what? Speaking. So, like him or love him, very, very sucks. So, anyway, moving to our guest intros.
Yeah, well said, Snow. We have a reoccurring guest, Crawley, as well as a new guest, BearJew of Legion. So welcome back, Crawley, and welcome to the show, BearJew. We're very happy to have you here. So we have a casting panel here filled of D1 players here as we kind of go over all of the previous week, but also these big-time matches in the 49s and 40s. But before we get to that, BearJew, why don't you give us a little intro? Why don't you give us some of your gaming history, your Hell Let Loose clan history? Give us your resume basically.
All right. So I originally came from 2042 being absolute trash, and I saw Hell Let Loose, and I decided to give it a new try. So I played it for a while, about a year, and then I stopped playing. And then when I came back, I'd seen like people have like clan tags, and I've always seen like Seventh or Merc or just like different clan tags across the game. And I started playing with Yako, who was in Berserk, and ended up joining Berserk for like a brief stint. Met a lot of cool people. Shout out to Pinhead Nick. Dude's practically taught me everything about the game that I know. And then I ended up joining Seventh with Endarkenment and Fox. And it all started at the Battle of West Bend, and here I am.
Yeah, we were discussing that just before we went live here, everyone, about what BearJew's first game in the Seventh was back then. But I remember when you and Dark and that group from Berserk came over, Mac, and, well, I don't think Mac actually came over until after you, or did Mac precede you? After. So, yeah, I remember you guys all coming over, and that was, like, huge for us at the time because... obviously, we all know what happened with Seventh in the long run, but to get like that new blood in there and like good players like that at that time was everything. And this was before transfer portal or anything like that. So you hop on over and you play the next week, which I think is seems crazy now looking back, and it wasn't that long ago where that was just the reality we all lived by. But so in Seventh,
bring it back.
Yeah. No, I don't think so, Snow. I think that's not good for the game. But so obviously then Seventh explodes, and so straight to Legion for you then?
Yeah. Ironically, I was asleep when it happened. The last thing I remember was seeing Romadub pinged 126 times in the server, and then I took a nap after work, and I woke up and I had I think 150 DMs. And I just woke, out of your confusing sleep, and I got I had a bunch of invites, and so I joined, and then I was just everyone thought I wasn't gonna join because they hadn't heard from me, and that's where it all started.
That was a crazy evening. I always say that Snow was the only DM I had that wasn't from all of you guys. I was out at dinner. I come back and I'm like, oh, what's going on Discord, and it's a million Legion server invites, and then Snow being like, hey man, heard what happened, and I hadn't even heard what happened, so I was like, oh, let me figure out what's going on here first. Maybe it was close between Legion and 8th there, I have to say. But we have a lot to go over tonight, so why don't we just get right into it with the recap here. So as maybe you guys weren't familiar, you missed it, but last weekend we had all of the Division 6 through 9 matchups. So that is all the sub 40s. So it was a busy weekend, and I got to cast a few matches. One in particular was a Battle of West Bend, where the results was what you would expect, but how we got there, I don't think I've ever seen a more intense ending to a West Bend battle. And that was the RMC versus 626. But let's get into the individual divisions here, and we'll start with D9 here. So we had SCC, 2-6, ITHL all winning their matches, and SVS, ZSR, and 7th Cav falling short. Sons of Valor getting a bye because of the 7-man division. 7th Cav, unfortunately, forfeited against ITHL, so that match didn't occur. And then the other ones that did happen was the 2-6 beating SVS as the allies on SMDM Pierre's. So, Crawley, we talked a little about Pierre's last week. Why don't you talk just, briefly about the point and kind of, why the allies sometimes come out on top there?
Well, we saw with the SCC versus Zulu Squad Recon, they hit the AT cannon snipe off the start on the main road, and there's not many ways you can get 2 Pierres from the Axis if you are coming from the HQ3, unless you go all the way around. You take the main Death Road because it is a bottleneck. And
Right.
we saw that if teams do their map prep like SCC did, that one of those AT cannons that popped off, yeah, it's unreal.
It's crazy we're seeing that now in D9.
Div 9.
It's like
D9.
That's very indicative of how fast this game is evolving. Like, it wasn't very long ago that it was only the top team doing it, and then it was the top teams doing it, and now everyone realizes that that's what you need to do at the start of the game to maximize your opportunities. And Snow, as a tanker, has that kind of shifted what you're doing in your preparation ahead of the games? Because that's, some of that obviously will fall on you guys.
Definitely the snipe aspect of it. And I was just talking to BP, or British Petroleum, you guys may know him as, or BP, like a few hours ago, and we were talking about one of the snipes, because we have Carentan Crossway in Carentan, so it's snipe heaven.
Right.
So yeah, it's in-depth stuff, and just to see Division 9 team do it, especially SEC, which is an Australian team. Crawley, I don't think we played against them, but they've definitely played against Anzer and some other teams, and some higher level teams, definitely higher than Division 9 teams. So it's good to see teams learning from playing tougher teams and using it to their advantage in these lower divisions.
Yeah, and BearJew, last season with Legion, it was obviously a lot of focus on that the whole way through. And, what do you think about seeing this in Division 9, not, 2 months removed from the previous, era of tournaments that were being all watched by our community?
I would say it's really cool to see a lower division or newer team kind of buying into, I think, what it takes now to win.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, hitting that snipe at start, obviously I think a lot of the game depends on your opener, whether it's good or bad, and kind of dictates, the next 90 minutes, especially just with the meta gameplay. But seeing a Division 9 team do it, I think that's really cool, because I always watching these games. I always see teams doing things that obviously it's they're almost there, or they need to do some work or just research,
right.
Learn the game a little bit more. But seeing the team first time just hit the snipe, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and both of these
and
teams...
it says that someone put in prep work.
Yeah.
Right.
The both of these teams that won in D9 this week, the 2 matches that were played here, were both the allies on Saint Marie du Montpierre. So just an interesting, another couple data points that we'll have going forward this season. And, as these things flesh themselves out more, we'll combine it with the summit data as well. And, going into the playoffs, maybe we can kind of build out what is favored, what is not for our community, because I think it differs kind of between the console and PC side, and especially with all the different levels of play going on. So we'll move on to Division 8 here. So we have here Sons of UDT, 11 ID, 48th, all winning their matches, and then we have Soldiers of Hell, Panzerlehr, and Commando Especial Latino losing their first matches. I was able to cast the Sons of UDT versus the CEL match, and that was on Pierre's farm again, where the Sons of UDT won as the Germans. And that was a 5-0 victory. It was very impressive. And, Crawley, we talked about this last week, where you have these more experienced teams playing in Division 8. To me, it was immediately evident with how they tackled that objective, and, getting the trucks in the spots that are going to be the most advantageous to them. It was a really, really solid win by them. But we have a couple highlights later that we'll go through ahead of doing the matchups in D5 and up. But... does that surprise you then, Crawley?
No, when I watch the match, because I'm the nerd, a few of us are, and we watch all the matches, and we do look at anything we can try and get the upper hand for our own team. But Sons of UTT looked really good. They looked prepared. They knew exactly where to go. They took their initial spots really well, and then it was just after that, it just made their life easier. So you could just, the prediction was correct, but Yeah, they look really crisp. I think they're going to be hard to beat in Div 8.
I fully agree. You could definitely tell that they have been in this atmosphere before, this like style, and definitely would be my pick for the favorites of that division.
Yeah, they look good, and we obviously haven't seen 27th play here yet, so they're still a little bit of an unknown commodity in that regard on how they're gonna play in this within this division. So that was 1-5-0, and then we also had 11ID as the allies 5-0ing PZLD on Omaha Artillery Battery. So Artillery Battery is, I think we all could agree, a little bit more allied favored just because of the ground leading into the point there. But they also looked very, very solid, and we were talking about them last week too. But BearJew, you weren't on last week, but 11ID's kind of been around for a little bit now, and they seem to be mixed up in almost every major tournament out there. How do you think that figures into them with the dominant performance here in week 1?
I'm honestly just gonna say experience. I think experience is everything in this game,
Right.
especially playing together as a group. So I think that kind of gave them the edge when it came to winning.
Yeah, and I know there's a couple of the people in their leadership, and I've casted quite a few games from them, so I've seen the evolution from doing some of their early casts to what they put on film this last weekend, and I thought it was really, really good to see them winning convincingly here early and kind of build up some of that momentum going into the season. But the last match here was a 3-2 match, 48th as the Germans beating SOH on Kharkov St. Mary. So, that's the one of the crown jewels of the 6th, if I'm right, Crawley and Snow, Kharkov.
Love Kharkov. Love that map in that midpoint.
And this time here, though, the Germans coming out on top. So that's a little bit different from what you typically expect on Kharkov. So I think that makes 48th one of the more interesting teams in this division for me. Winning as the Germans on Kharkov, even with St. Mary being the most favorable or, even, I suppose, of the 3, it's still, I think, really, really, going to show that they're maybe a really good team when they get things that fall a little bit better in terms of map and mid.
100%.
Alrighty, so let's check out Division 7, and then we'll wrap it up with 6, and then do some highlights here. So Division 7, we have RDG, DBD, RMC, 626, the 79th, and DLB. So a little bit smaller of a division than the previous couple, but I casted the RMC versus 626 game. That was the West Bend match. And oh my goodness, man. The result was, as you expect, the Germans winning on by just holding the midpoint the whole time. But how the last 10 minutes of that game was absolutely insane. With 626 nearly capping, they were at 80% cap, and then a spawn wave hit on a garrison, and the entire RMC team spawned there. It was a real gem of a match. Did anyone happen to catch that one on the replay?
Watched it.
You watched that one, Snow?
Yeah.
Give us your take.
I watched it.
Well, to be honest, I thought the game was a little boring, and then all of a sudden it seemed like it really heated up. And I was like, oh damn, okay, they're pushing, and they're like, they're gonna cap this, and then, dude, you ain't lying when you say the entire team spawned either.
If you were the arty guy and you were dialed in there, they were genuinely one artillery splash and getting those guys in the KIA screen away from capping that, which would have been just an insane ending, an all-time one. But I think that they're my big surprise of the week. A lot of these results are ones that I, kind of, would have thought being the case, but 626 really surprised me. That to be able to fight back like that, as a newcomer, I think that they're the team to watch in D7.
They almost proved it was possible.
Yeah, they were this close to making history. It was such a good game too. So,
Thank God they didn't, because
Oh no, yeah, that's all
Thank God
that
they didn't.
that's all that would need to happen for a lot of
Legion would blow in there like, see guys, see, we told you. You just had to play it right.
You just got to
Yeah.
squeak it out in the last 10 minutes.
50-50 game here.
Yeah, totally fair.
You need the out of bounds half track.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, we should allow the out of
That's
bounds
me.
half track. That's definitely good tactics.
Fucking
Still
Crawley
filthy on that. Still
just
filthy
isn't-
on that. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. That was yeah. On Drill of all maps too. And just happened to have
If it would've
Summit
worked,
Augur watching.
You would have been a hero.
Yeah. Just had to have
Yeah.
rocks.
I held that one to my chest for like 2 years, and the only person I ever told was Maho Joe and Hoof. That was it. I never told a soul. And we were just waiting to use it. And then I see it in
I
the
think-
scrim on Driel.
That was being casted.
I remember when I got told, I went bullshit, and then went into our server, and I went, oh, well, it actually works. But yeah,
It does sound like it's a BS thing. Like it does sound like it's the dogs barking. You're close to an outpost type shenanigans.
no, it's not. Your game's glitched, you idiot. Like that's what I was saying to the person that showed it. I was like, no, it's not. Come off it. Then went in and went, oh, hang on, I'm sorry. It actually works.
Have we read the rule book for TPL? Does TPL have it?
Yes, it's in there. It's in there. Caparzo takes all the fun. All the
It
Canadians.
wasn't me. It
Hero,
wasn't
the
me.
BearJew.
I'm the fun stream
Hero,
dad.
the BearJew. All, and with Typhoon as well. Found out he's Canadian. Maple syrup lovers. They take all the fun.
I'm gonna make my own league with half track glitches and recon OP glitches.
Dude, bring back the Freedom League where everything was on the table.
Yeah, except going on roofs.
Except for Legion.
Except going on roofs. We shouldn't allow. We shouldn't allow.
Oh,
Should
we.
should
Damn.
we'll save that for the wrap up, I suppose, because it doesn't really fit anywhere in this. But that is something that we'll have to talk about because it was a big story in the community.
Right.
But getting back to DC,
I wouldn't know because I'm banned. Anyway, moving on.
You gotta stop getting yourself banned from different arms of the community here, Snow.
You need to post a photo I got banned for, and let's do like a community vote, and vote should go to DP.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a
Let's
lot.
not.
Yeah, let's not be
do that.
reposting
Let's not do that.
things that got you banned other places. But the in D7, the RDG, I think we talked last week about how they were kind of like the winners of the off season. They had a lot of really good experienced players go there. So them winning, I believe that they won 5-0 against DLB. So that was another Pierre's Farm as the Allies. So Allies' record on Pierre's Farm has been very good this prior weekend. And then the other game was the DBD versus 79th match on Driel, where DBD won 4-1. The first time seeing the bridge on Driel. So that was very interesting that they were the Allies, so the British coming out on top there.
That's surprising.
It's very surprising.
Yeah, I like the British guns though
That-
on Driel. I think that it actually is pretty good because the STG isn't so.
The brand is a laser.
Yeah, and the STG doesn't have like the territory for it. It's not like a Carentan map where like the
Bridge
STG is like all
does.
powerful. Yeah, but like everywhere
sorry.
else,
A bridge is just going to be getting smacked by Artie for like 90 minutes. That's all that's going to be. So if you go on the bridge, you're just going to get decked.
And at
So
that range,
I would have thought
at that range, the Tommy with the drum is like equal to or better than the STG in my opinion. It's
I agree with that. MP40 on that map goes crazy too.
Yeah, I love the MP40. German engineer with the
Very
satchel, my favorite.
I agree.
and the two mines too. Beautiful.
Oh yeah, you get so much good stuff
Yeah.
in that class. But all right, let's check out D6 and then do some highlights. So D6 had Rage, Legion 201, and 263H winning their matchups with Only Fins, Hellraisers Brazil, and Red Zone all losing in week one, and then DEC having that week one bye. So the one match here that I did watch in its entirety was Awake's cast of the 623H and OnlyFins, and that was like a classic. Such a good ending. 90 minutes wasn't almost enough to decide the result of this one. So Crawley, I take it you had seen this one too?
Yeah, it was a good game though. It was a really good game. I just really wanted my OnlyFins brothers to win, just for the name.
It was so close. So just for those out there who didn't get to watch it, which you should definitely watch it afterwards, but 623H recapped Checkpoint with like, less than 15-20 minutes left, and really consolidated themselves on the point. But then OnlyFins just comes out here with this human wave attack and mixes their way into Checkpoint, is able to get in there, but they just lose because they didn't start capping early enough. The cap was ongoing as the game was ending, and it was on the plus side of halfway. So just an insane ending there.
Hot
It was really good to see. Sorry, son.
I was just saying, I wish they added the overtime rules for Warfare. Very hot take.
I don't know, dude. I look forward to that 2 minute. I look forward to that 2 minute,
Yes, bring it back.
No.
It used to be like that. It was very fun. Ain't nothing like, we're capping, then we run out of time. Because you get 90 minutes to play the game.
88 minutes. Technically less than that.
Yeah, 88.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but see, you're sitting in a tin can while the rest of us are getting artied and flanked and getting shot at and dealing with MG42s, and you're having to worry about the tank sitting 500 meters back while I've got fucking BearJew standing in front of me with his little scarf on running around. Like, I've got Caparzo sitting in the corner with an MP40. Yeah, like, you don't feel the pressure of that. You got guys yelling at you in blue and red chat, green chat.
Yeah.
No.
Our last game that came down to like that, you had me in infantry against Taco.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying no. We don't need overtime.
Can I come in?
yeah, that's what I'll go up to the tanks at the end of the game and be like, "Can you please let me in? Can I come? I don't want to be here anymore. I got like artillery."
I'll sit behind you with a Red Bull.
Yeah, that's what I did during the West Bend game. At the same point, I was like, "I'm worthless. Let me just for a little bit."
The EXO game, poor Riggy was standing behind the tank for cover. A tank hits us, ricochets, and just explodes into him. It was just like, damn, dude. They're trying to get into cover. And it's just feet standing there with no body left. I was like, damn.
So here's one of the highlights from this 263H OnlyFins game. Just an insane little tank clip here from Awake Stream.
Tiger Crew gets a first visual. Ricochets, but kills the prepper.
That was Ricky.
Oh my god, that is gruesome.
Yeah. I love Awake. Oh my god, that's
Mediums start
gruesome.
moving too. Both each other trade. Medium tank.
Look at the medium.
Where's he going? Tiger tank does get the kill onto the 76. Medium from behind. Shoot him, buddy. Hits him in the butt.
Did he hit the barrel?
Will he get a second shot?
I think that was from the tank in
down.
front.
He did it. Oh, wow.
Oh, nice little play there from the medium.
I really like that play from Awake Stream. This game had a lot of good clips. We have
Knows where the airhead is at.
this commander. Look at Surfo here for 623H. He drops an
You see
airhead.
it.
It's about to get taken
Commander
out.
saves the airhead.
Saves his own airhead.
Gets another kill. Huge kills from Surfo.
Oh,
Two do
Lets the spawn wave get
Unfortunately,
off.
only 2 players do spawn on the airhead.
But look at this heartbreaker. He's out of ammo.
Kill him. Oh no! He tried to go for the shovel. He still gets a shovel, but unfortunately the airhead is destroyed.
That was a really solid clip at the end there. I really like that one. We have this clip here, this Puma tag
Looks like
teaming
they're gonna
this
start to
heavy.
shove things through the front door as a P-strike is coming in. Not quite sure what that's going to be. Maybe it's on
Just
this
benefits
second
of low
tank.
division games.
Unfortunately, he does miss it, but he's getting shot in the back from a Puma. Gets shot in
Puma.
the front. Getting tag teamed. does go down. Huge play from 263 to take out that 76.
That's nuts. The P strike, the Puma, and then the other heavy. It was all going for that guy.
But it just shows you it's so different to D1. Like,
Yeah,
in what world would you
never have
see that? Would you see that that heavy tank in the middle of an open field with no rep stations, and then you just see his medium go on his outside, completely flanking him? It's just like, usually it'd be the opposite. They would trade off, and it was just it was a really entertaining game to watch.
The
Bring that
American
back.
medium, especially, you know, because the Panzer Strike is
out
just
of all
like,
of them.
you know, invincible against those. Couple more here. So this is from the DBD game. My good pal Degsy, who plays for DBD, old buddy from KRC, sent me a couple of these clips. So I'll play them in quick succession. But some crazy first-person clips here from the DBD game on Driel. This is a little funny one to start. We got this little tiger kill. And that's so important on this bridge here. Like, if you're able to have an infantryman take out the tiger, you're just gonna have a really easy time. And then we have one last one of him. Actually, I have one more after this.
That reminds me of Battlefield 5.
Yeah, right? What is it, Twisted Metal?
Yeah, everyone just sit on those, like, on the beams.
Yeah.
Gets the outpost.
The lack of leaning here.
But then he's able to push up, get another guy, and grab the second outpost, clearing off this bridge. It's huge.
Good use of
What's that
utility
guy's
with this. Hey,
T-17?
Going up the stairs behind you.
This is Degsy, but this is Body here from the charity stream, who styles on this guy. So those are some DVD clips. Yeah, the poaching. You're getting the poaching ban out for Degs now.
Yeah, I was just saying, he went into white chat straight away, and I bet you he's just going, "I just knifed someone."
Yeah. So just earlier in that clip, Degsy goes to him in white and says that he has someone running up on him from behind. So that's why he turned around and takes that first shot. So some good comms, and then the British knife. I mean, it's just the best knife in the game. It's so much fun.
Fully agree. It's just a little poke.
We have a clip from CEL, the shotgun here on Pierre's farm.
Look at that. fucking
Andre,
house.
gonna see if he can clean up this roof. Oh, and he just shatters that guy with the shotgun.
Duck hunting.
And that makes 2. And he goes 3 for 3. Hardcore just watched 2 of his buddies get turned into lunch meat. Oh, and he goes 3 for 3. What a play by Andre. And Ivanovic gonna use that shotgun again.
Andre. We have Lifeline with the
Pistol
medic.
Gets him. The medic.
Was that a pistol?
Do no
Yeah.
harm.
What a great name that is. That's
What
great.
about your oath, Lifeline?
Lifeline is a medic.
Yeah, I
Medics and comp.
I saw a lot of them running around as a medic there at the end, which was always funny to see during these comp games. And then the last clip I have, or actually I have 2 more clips, but second to last one is an encapsulation of the caster's curse right here.
Curious to like check in with G-Man here because I feel like he's doing what we just talked about. Like, oh no!
Yes.
Yell is losing the cap, but an
And
opportunity
then we have
really
one
for this
last clip here.
medium to just
Medium
hit
taking
this,
out a heavy.
76
If you ever
on
want to
the
make the
side.
clips, take out a heavy and a medium.
You can see touch of death, malarkey. It's really just a ton of pressure being applied. I do want to keep. Yeah, I want to stay with this really quick because this is so massive. If this oh, that's one in the side. Get him, P4. Oh my goodness, we have I think our first medium takes out a heavy of the season. What a play by Ironside, Blake the Great, and Kuga.
Be a few
Nice,
more of
smart
those.
play.
So
Settle down.
what was funny about that was that was the only heavy that CEL was able to roll out the whole game, and it gets taken out by the medium there, which was just devastating for them. They kind of relied on the mediums after that, and kind of outplayed their infantry a little bit. And against the Germans with the 75, you're going to have a hard time. So that was definitely one of the plays of the game from my perspective. But let's get into some D5. This is the 40v40 division. We have a lot of familiar teams in this one. So let's bring up the scoreboard here, everyone. This is a fresh season, so a whole bunch of 0 and 0s. I can see Crawley is itching to speak right now, but he's being a good boy. We have GOAT, OCL, SAP, 75th Rangers, 50A, and ROFS. So this is a division of some newcomers, some established clans that are new to TPL, and some TPL legacy clans that have been around since day one. So a really nice mix of teams in this division, and I think going into the season, this was one of the divisions that I said I'm going to try to watch as much of this as possible, especially it being 40v40, which is something we've not seen before. At least I have not seen before. So let's go in order here. Snow, what's give us your early favorites. Give us some teams to look out for. Your favorite, your dark horse, that sort of thing.
Favorite, if I'm just speaking on skill, God damn it, Caparzo, I was wanting someone else to go first.
You're beneath me, so you get to go. You get to go first.
That makes sense. Okay, I mean it's obviously Roths. Roth shouldn't even be here. I'm just gonna go right into it. I mean they're not a Division 5 team. I mean they just, no offense, Roths, you guys just put 32 players in the transfer market, and you're playing a 40-man team. There's no me. I am. This is utterly ridiculous. You guys were just in the semifinal for Division 2 last season. You were in the Division 2 final for Summit, your guys' league. And now you're coming to TPO and say, we're going to play 40s when we just brought 33 players. You literally brought more than 90% of your team in the transfer market. This is ridiculous. It's no offense to OCL. I really hope they beat you guys this season and you guys do not win this division. But since you're here, you guys are the most talented team. But I'm definitely not rooting for you. So you shouldn't be here.
Well, tell us how you really feel next time, Snow. You really don't have to keep it all in. You can tell it. You could be honest with the people here. So I'm glad.
No, this is what? Seriously, what? Who's to say if they can do that? Who's to say 6 comes next season? Yeah, we're gonna play 35s. That's stupid. That's just stupid. Shouldn't happen. Moving on.
So all right. So Rob's your favorite. Who's your dark horse then?
I think OCL. They really.
I agree with that.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think OCL really shocked me into off-season competitive league. And even with Rob's in here, I still think OCL could definitely could put the clamps on them. So we'll see. OCL, all these other teams are in Division 5 need to prep. Rob definitely is going to prep. But they can lose the 9PZ if you let them. So force them to do something like that. Do your map bans. Perform well. You guys got this. Sorry, Crawley. Probably put you in some hot water, but that's my personal opinion. You can recover this by going ahead.
Crawley. Oh, he's taking the monk oath of silence.
Nah, I won't take the monk oath of silence. Roths are a competitive team. That's obviously where I started out, and there was obviously been a bit of bad blood in previous seasons and going through being the top 2, I would say probably dominant OCE teams, but it is sad to see them go to Div 5, considering they were competing in Div 2 last season. But I think it wasn't as so much of a rebuild thing. It was a question they put to their members, and they said, "Look, what do you think?" And they all agreed. So obviously, I'm an Australian first. I'm an OCE man first. So like I really do want to see Ross win this league. Like I want to see all Aussie teams win the league. But yeah, it's a pretty known fact that they shouldn't be in this league just for the amount of experience they have in comp, and they can push teams. They can push top end of Div 2, top and like bottom end of Div 1 teams. Like we saw that with 3-5 matches. Like they can do it. So they're going to be really tough to beat, but I don't think we should also sleep on maybe the 75th Rangers. I think they've got a good team. And they could do something as well.
Can I say one more thing before moving to BearJew? I'm sorry.
Sure.
And it might sound like I'm talking shit about Ross, but I'm really not. I'm more of saying that I personally think they're really good, and they shouldn't be in this position to begin with. Like, I think they're really, really good. Like they were literally a smoke grenade and HE show away from beating 3-5, which is in D1 now, in the Summit Valley Championship. Like they were that close, and then it's just like to the players, you're like, okay, guys, well we lost that. Now we're going to go back down into Division 5. Like it's no shame to Division 5, but like I don't know, it's kind of shitty.
Well said. What about you, BearJew? Give us your. Oh, well, actually, Crawley. You said 75th. Sorry about that. So, BearJew, give us your favorite and dark horse here in D5.
Obviously Ross, for reasons that have already been said that I don't need to go into. But someone I'm really excited to watch is going to be 75th, because as Legion is scrimming, we're looking for people to fill, and a lot of the 75th guys have been filling for us. So I'm really just curious to see like the things that they take from playing with us and how they apply it to their own team. So that's going to be my dark horse to watch, I think, in Division 5.
Yeah, I would agree with what all you guys said. I think it was a toss-up for me between OCL and 75th on who I was going to say is my dark horse. As BearJew said, I've seen some really, really great play out of some of the 75th guys that has played with us, and not just in terms of like their ability to hold their own against some higher end opponents that are in D1, but also just like their game sense and knowledge, like what they're doing when they're joining my squad. I think it's been really, really impressive to kind of see that. And previous to a month or two ago, I really wasn't familiar with them at all. So they're like my don't count them out team for sure in this division. I think they'll end up being a much better team at the end of the season than they are right now. So definitely excited to watch them. Alrighty, let's move on to Division 4 here. So this is our first of the 49s v 49 divisions that we've talked about on the show since we've been talking about the Premier League. So here we have MSU, SAS, TRR, 508P, 3, I think it's LPZ, right? I think that's what it is. Sorry, I gotta write this down. But and then KRRC. So this is kind of a similar sort of mix here. It's some teams that have been around, some teams that are new to the league, and some teams that are kind of been promoted from lower divisions. So in the case of MSU, Crawley, why don't we start with you this time? As a OCE team, like tell us a little about them. Like I know that I've seen them grow so much from just an outsider's perspective.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of growth. Obviously they're a breakaway from TFMC. That's what started, kind of similar to like 6, how they broke away from the 11th. And they have just been on a steady recruitment drive. They've got a few players from the 11th that have come over with a lot of comp experience. They've played in the off-season competitive league. They played in the Winter War League. They just beat TFMC, which is a Div 2 team, in I think it must have been 40s maybe, on Elsonbourne Ridge. And they beat OCL Kabbalah to be like the overall off-season competitive league winners. So
right.
Yeah, they're gonna be really tough. They haven't pushed to the level of versing maybe like a top end Div 2 or a bottom end Div 1 or even any Div 1 team yet, and they just because they want to keep going and focusing on the opponents that they have now.
Right.
And it seems to be working out for them. And I think they're going to be really tough to beat if they are prepping like they have been for in the Winter War League and in the off-season league. It's going to be tough because I could see them definitely being maybe a Div 2, even a Div 3 team, MSU. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think winning the off-season competitive league is a massive indication of where they're at as a team right now, and they beat a very good team as well in OCL in that league. So they're my favorite for sure in D4. But Crawley, are they is that kind of in line with what your prediction is?
I think the three that you have to look out for in this league is be SAS, but they did just lose a lot of players to Merck. So I'd probably say MSU and TRR, the Rogue Regiment. I think they're going to be the two to really look out for.
BearJew, you want to give us your favorites and dark horses here, or just like any notes about any of these teams that like jump out to you in particular?
As a true blue myself, I'm rocking with MSU, 100%.
How do you say Wollongong again?
Wollongong.
True blue BearJew riding with MSU. Any other teams in here though that like wouldn't surprise you, or you think it could make a run?
I'm really curious to see SAS along with TR. I know there's just a few people in TR that have comp experience at like higher levels along with MSU, but I like I think out of all the teams in TPL, no matter the division, I think MSU is going to be the one to watch. I think watching their games and just watching from like the map perspective, I think that they have the right idea of the game, and I think that just comes with experience of the players. But yeah, I think MSU or SAS, just because I know Taco has been helping out SAS, so I'm really curious to see how they play the game from a map perspective. But yeah, that's it. I'm going with MSU. I think they're the best team in Division 4.
Crawley, is this their first go at it with 49's MSU? Because obviously off-season competitive was a smaller format.
So it is their first like actual crack at 49s because they were growing at like such a steady rate. They got to a point where they were having to sub and reserve like 10 more players per term. But yeah, I think MSU, they're going to be really hard to beat. The way that they've actually, like, even their map bans, you can see when you've, like, being the nerd that you are, if you watch them and how they map ban, you can tell that they've got a process to it. And some teams, just like in the lower divisions, like, not dissing anyone, but they want to just play their favourite maps, no matter the midpoint.
Right.
Where you can see everything's calculated there. So I think them and Ross with ANZR are probably like TFMC. It's so hard to in the OCE side for who's taking that like second spot because any of them can play really well, and like I'm really interested to see how well they go this season.
It'd be like nice if you could put two of those in the same division. I don't know. That would make too much sense.
Oh God, Snow. What are you thinking?
Anyway. See, my dark horse is like really wild. Like I obviously agree MSU. I'm gonna back the boys over there. Also, shout out to whoever does like the backgrounds for the teams. That's awesome.
We're gonna see bigger versions of those later, and there's some that are just really really cool. So like when we get to the actual head to heads, that's TFMC's in particular is so freaking good.
I actually have. I'm actually very interested to see KRC in this like. Where the beauty of TPL is like you're kind of playing against similar talent teams. Just in the Dark Horse, more of a curiosity because KRC was actually becoming a little bit of an issue to some of the Valley teams in Summit. We joke they played our red zone way, but in a lower division like this, I'm not saying these teams ain't as disciplined, but a little bit less disciplined than like a D2, D1 team that they're playing in Summit. It may work if the team's not careful, and then all of a sudden KRC's like has a heavy behind you, shooting from your lines.
Right.
So I'll be very interested to see. And plus, I don't know anything about the 508th or the 3rd, I assume that's 3rd Battalion LA.
Yeah, it's they're a Brazilian team new to the league, so we do have full coverage this whole weekend with all the games. Sorry if you could hear the sirens; it's ridiculous, but
there's a few Brazilian teams.
Yeah, there is quite a few,
there's a few.
Yeah, and I prioritized getting some Brazilian casters and like Latin American casters this offseason so that these teams can watch their games in their native language. And it's actually entertaining to watch it from even someone who doesn't speak the language because, that's hearing that same sort of passion and like everyone in the chat, it's like, it reminds me how like global our community is. And, I always loved when Casanova would do the cast too. Like it's just, the one game that like binds us all across all these languages and stuff like that. I would say my one is MSU here. I agree with a lot of you guys. But I think TRR is closer in behind them than maybe, everyone thinks. I think that they have a ton of really high-end competitive experience, and they can be dangerous if they get things to go their way, if they put in the time that MSU is. I haven't caught a game of theirs in a while, so definitely excited to watch them this weekend. But 508P is another team that I watched them play the first. Pour one out, guys.
That's the same 5? I'm sorry.
Yes, that's the one that we did the cast, right?
Yeah, I've known about 508 for a while, but I've never seen it with PIR. I've always just seen
like Parachute Regiment or something like that.
Yeah,
their name is spelled out in the full thing, but I think that this is a fun division, and the parity between these teams is really, really close here. So I expect a lot of 3-2s in this division in particular. Any last notes before we move on to Division 3?
Damn, shout out to 508P. That team's been around for like 3 years now.
Yeah, they've been around a long time.
It's a great call for the Rogue Regiment. I don't know if you've seen Welshie in the transfer market, but he is a master negotiator, man. He just can he can swindle anyone. He just gets anyone, and he loves it. Even in his Discord bio. Yeah, they do, bro. And it's like the best Hell Let Loose recruiter, TR Welshie. And I was like, oh, okay, mate. Yep, no worries. But then you see the transfer markets, it's just like from this clan to this clan, from this clan to TRR, from this clan to TRR.
Yeah, he's always at work. And I see Doug in the chat right now. It's 3 LPZ. So thank you for clearing that up for me, for us all here. But this is a fun division. TRR though, I think it's a close 1 and 2 between them and MSU. So loads of good games, and
that's going to be an exciting game.
I don't know the matchups exactly. We have that just in a little bit here, but I think we'll be able to kind of hone in on who's our favorite too in that process. But Division 3, we have a lot of familiar teams here, and then one newer team, but sort of more a semi sort of rebrand. So the 21st Army Group, R22R, 101A, 1SBS, L90, and ANZR. So we're in the kind of territory of knowing and probably playing against these teams quite a lot. All these teams here I have experience playing, with exception of L90. I've never played against before, but as I understand it, they're kind of like a LEP breakaway. So if I were to go first here and kind of say my early favorite, I think it's kind of going to be a toss-up between R22R and 1SBS, I want to say. Like, this is like a super competitive division, and no one jumps out to me as like being a clear number one. ANZR is certainly up there as well. I'm familiar with playing a lot of them from playing against 6th, and then you guys have them on your side, and it's not necessarily easy to pick out when you're playing against the ANZR squad, so that's a testament to how good they are, because the 6 is obviously a Division 1 team and a fantastic group. But this one is a lot harder for me to read at a glance. Like, other divisions, it jumps out to me as like what I think is my favorite and what I think is like a close-in second. But this one is a little bit more difficult. And I think R22R, obviously I'm very familiar with them, so I know how good that they can play. They would probably be the one that I would go with. BearJew, you want to go second here?
I'm rocking with R22R. Honestly, only because out of all the teams like in Division 3, I would say I'm most familiar with them. But also just because of like, you know, constantly talking to Hero. Like Hero always talking with Maho and I, and I have like people from R22R. After this, I'm actually gonna go talk with them. But they're just asking questions, and to be honest, I think that's where the game starts, is just asking questions. So just because of that, I'm going with R22R.
Reminds me when you remember the VC with the 8, you showed us the OP layouts. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. We didn't know what the fuck a line was. Dude, I'm sitting here looking at, because I haven't seen the full divisions until right now, and I see on one hand I can say 101A, 2-time like Winter War League champions. They played a lot of these teams in it, and R22R is like right there. I've never seen WinSBS spelled out like that.
Yeah, thank God for the logo, or else it might have been a little. Yeah,
right.
I wasn't even gonna. We'll have to get Teku onto the broadcast to get that one pronounced.
Their Discord is like fully Polish as well. It's so funny. I joined as an ambassador, and they were all greeting me in Polish, and I had no idea what was going on. I was freaking out.
There's so many letters that don't typically go next to each other, and you're like, I don't even know how to begin to pronounce this.
I think I just sent a gif of a soccer player waving, and it was a Polish soccer player, so I think they understood.
There you go, yeah.
You think it was Polish?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
pick R22R, but with a close second. Anziar, they're still kicking, they're still doing really well. But I'm really excited to see it, especially that matchup. I don't think I've seen R22R play in they didn't play in Summit, correct?
No.
And
yeah, this is their first time doing 49s.
Yeah, I haven't seen them play a lot, and obviously, have they scrimmed Legion quite a bit with 49s, or do you guys just go and help them?
We haven't scrimmed them in 49s. No, we'll typically more go help fill for them when they need reserves when they have their scrims. And a lot of our guys played for them in the past, just last season in TPL. So I know when they join my squad, it's like okay, we're good. Some of their players are just outstanding, so I think that's I'm personally biased too. Oh, Hero is so good, yeah.
Yeah, he can play on any D1 team that he would want.
Yeah,
Bush camper.
Yeah, he played for Legion in Summit. He transferred because R22R didn't play Summit, so he's a fantastic player and definitely can hold his own. Crawley, what do you think here? What's your picks?
ANZR. I think ANZR, because I would say probably 6 helps ANZR, and I'd probably say Legion does a lot of help to R22R. So it's kind of the same, little similar situation. Like when we need fills, we go to ANZR. When you need fills, you go to R22R. But I just think dropping down from Div 2, with ANZR, I think they're going to really test it. But I'm also thinking about, LEP, like L90, they're going to be a really good team. But I think the 2 to watch will be ANZR and R22R.
Yeah, the thing with R22R that should be mentioned as well, other than BearJew being the most overrated player in our community, you can see him in chat, is that they were actually originally slated to be a Division 4 team, but moved themselves up to Division 3 because of some dropouts that happened earlier in the season. So, one, credit to R22R for making that leap. I mean, it's still 49, so it's impressive, but to go from playing 35s at the most to playing 49s in the second lowest division, not the lowest, is it's going to be a real test for them. And I think like we said about 75th, I really think that no matter how the season goes for them, this isn't exclusive to R22R, but specifically speaking about them, they're going to end up in a better spot as a team after the season. And I think that really goes for all these teams here, because this is going to be competitive. I don't see any team losing out here. I think each team here is capable of beating each other, and it's in any given week type of division.
I fully agree.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to move to
Like any division. Oh, sorry, I was just saying, like any division, I think it's going to depend on the map bans.
right? It's getting more and
So
more
crucial.
towards that now. Like I feel like at the end of Summit last season, that became a really big part of how the game was going to go. Like the prep work kind of is extending earlier and earlier into the cycle of how these games are played. I mean, I know the things that you guys did last season with the map ban, so it's just crazy. Go ahead, Snow.
It's map bans in the opener is about what the size of the games now.
Right.
Then it's stalemate.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's just a little bit of actually playing the game mixed in there, and 88 minutes later, and someone wins.
I said that in our chat today. I was just like, no matter what we do, if we can get the opener right and we can get the map ban right, that's 85% of the game.
Right. So,
Wow, that is sick for the fucking banner for Div 2 for TFMC.
dude, wait
Wow.
till we do the blown up version of matches where you can really see it. It's so cool.
Wow.
But this division, we have the only division this episode where you'll actually see a win. So Pathfinders with the win over First unfortunately dropping out. We talked a little bit about that last week. So Pathfinders sitting on top here, 1-0, and getting a break week here. But then we have 9PZ, HLLE, 22nd, and TFMC to round out this one. And this is a lot of familiar teams, a lot of teams that have been around for a while now. I think the youngest team here would be 9PZ or Pathfinders, and you know, it's not that they're young at all. Like they're a seasoned competitive team. So HLLE back in TPL, of course, is a huge deal. Like, you know, they're one of the originals from the early days, just having taken one season off. Then we have 22nd, who's been more and more involved with getting into these higher division games. And then TFMC, who's been a day zero team as well, like been around since the very beginning. So, Snow, why don't we wrap back around, and why don't you tell us some of the things that jump out to you here, teams that you're interested to watch, favorites, dark horses, the whole thing.
Yeah. Just first, let me say, it's so weird to see HLE in Division 2.
It is a little weird.
It's so weird. Man, it's gonna be a lot of good games here. Dude, that 9PZ HLE game.
Your favorite team?
It's gonna be good.
9PZ.
Yeah, my favorite team. And then, I mean, even the 22nd versus 9PZ. I mean, there's a lot of good matchups there throughout the entire season. Philo and 22nd is gonna be really good. I'm getting hard cap. Okay, so my pick for this division is going to be 9PZ is going to take the division.
Wow, okay.
Yep.
So you like 9PZ over HLE. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think HLE will do good. It's just, we know how seasons go, and HLE hasn't been in a full season yet. Like, they still don't really know what they have. They played Hell EU, which is only a total of like 5 games over a course of, I don't know, a month, 2 months, 3 months, somewhere in there. TPL is very, very long, and I could see a loss, something like that could really derail a season for a team that's like, you got expectations if you're an HLE. Some of these teams are just, the expectations are not there, and I don't know, I feel like they could crumble if they get a loss early. So yeah, but I think 9PZ is going to win it just because of what they can prove. They proved against 3-5 and various other D1 teams. They constantly scrim.
Yeah, they're a team that constantly scrims D1 and D2 opponents. You know, since the early days. I mean, BearJew, I'm sure you remember when we played 9PZ on West Bend, and we gave them the Germans, and you know, we kind of memed it and still 5-0'd, but that was an entirely different team than they have now, and I think they're one of the they grew a ton since then, like to find themselves in D2 and you know where they're getting picked as favorites for it. I think says a lot about them. Pathfinders has been around for a long time as well, and they've done some good recruitment this offseason, so I think that they're up there with the teams that I'm thinking about. And HLE, like I think if they get some momentum behind them, they're going to be a hard team to stop. It's going to be a matter of how well that they want to prep these games, because since they took a break, that's kind of been the thing that everyone has to do to compete now, is prepare a lot. So they all have the players that are capable of it, and it's just going to be putting it together and putting in the work. So, and then 22nd has a lot of experience. Again, plays very difficult opponents routinely, which I think helps them. So they're up there for me too. So I think those top 4 really are interesting to me, and then TFMC would be my dark horse here in this division, where I think that they're a scrappy team and they can put a couple wins together and stack them up and get a little momentum rolling and be a dangerous kind of team at the end of the season if they're sneaking into the playoffs. But Crawley, you want to go here and give us your thoughts?
I'm going to go Helleley. I think Helleley will win it. It's close between Helleley and 9PZ. I just think with those two in this league and format, they're going to be really tough to beat. I have seen the transfer market, but I also see 22nd 4ID always fly under the radar. In Summit, they beat Merck on, it was Dugout Barn, but they were the Axis, and they did beat Merck, a Div 1 proven team. So, I just think it's going to be either of those 3 teams. I think Philo and TFMC, they'll put up a good fight, but I just think 9PZ from playing Summit, 22nd 4ID for playing Summit, and then Hell at Loose Elite bringing back some of the players that they have. Yeah, it's going to be real tough for those other teams.
Any dark horse type picks in this one?
I'll go 22nd 4ID.
Yeah, they're definitely a team to look out for. I would agree with that. BearJew?
I think this one's very hard to call, just because watching these teams, like, historically, sometimes they play really well, and then other times, like, they're just making mistakes. Like, for example, like, people are just getting in the back line. But I think the one that I really am most excited to watch is going to be 22nd. I think Awake being there is going to be very helpful for them in terms of just, like, understanding the strategy of the game. And again, like, we scrimmed them on Tobruk, and I thought they had some really good players.
Right.
So I think I'm going to go with 22nd, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, playing against them, we've seen some really good play out of a lot of their squad leaders in particular, which is what you need in these higher level or these higher division games. Getting the most out of those experienced players is what sometimes makes the difference in those ones. So I think that the experience that they have in terms of, like, their little caster squad that they got going on over there too is really funny. So Sheepdog, Awake, Smithers. So and I know Awake's always on poaching new casters to come to the 22nd. So he has his own
to 22nd.
Yeah, that's what they were. He says he's teaching them how to barbed wire HQs. So he's teaching them all the fundamentals, really, that make you a good competitive team. Barbed wiring HQs is critical. But why don't we move on to the big division, Division 1, where we have teams that have been around for a very, very long time and, all are extremely experienced in these high-level games. So we have Legion, the 6 Airborne Raiders, Tactical Collective, or TACO, Exodus, Merc, and Dark Horse, or you might know them as 3-5. So 3-5.
They changed their name?
Yeah, they go by Dark Horse now as, like, their main name now. Envision. Whispers of Envision.
Yep, let's go.
They're jacking you're jacking your style. No more LARPing, I guess, in the in 3-5 10 hut. But they're the new promoted team from D2, so making it into D1 now. And I think that they live up to the name of Dark Horse here. I think I have a little graphic that I'm going to show after we kind of go through this division, but we worked up some odds using ChatGPT and inputting some of the results from last season's TPL as well as Summit. And I kind of made it give us some futures odds that, if you guys want to call your TPL bookie out there and play some early futures bets, get them in now. We'll try to keep track of it. And I think it'd be fun to see those move as the season goes on. What are you taking bets, Snow?
Yep, 100%. Bring them in. We'll do Jersey Mike's gift card for currency.
let me get it Mike's way. So
Yeah.
Snow, why don't you give us your take on Division 1? Unbiased take on Division 1. We're all going to be incredibly biased here, so buckle in for that. But you're going to take the Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, obviously. Who am I picking? Dark Horse? But yeah. Sorry, I sound like a dick. Moving on.
Who is your Dark Horse, though?
Probably Exodus. I don't know. Give them the odds of plus 650. I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, Exodus really showed promise and during the summit. They're still on their prep work side, and Cheeks is an insanely hard person to map ban against.
Tell me about it.
He's fucking good. Not gonna lie. So, dude, Exodus can sneakily get a team on some stupid map like Cursed or Stalingrad and have a really good shot to win. Just kidding. But I think Exodus could be the dark horse there. I think the Exodus Merc games, the rematch with that is going to be really good. Improved Exodus versus Taco would be really good because they played really early Summit and it wasn't really a true. I don't know. They didn't play up to its potential, in my opinion, against Taco. And obviously, the 6 Exo game, 6 Taco game, 6 Legion game, all those are great games. I think all these games are going to be good.
Right, and then Merc obviously doing a lot of recruitment as well in these last couple weeks. I've seen them pick up some really, really solid players. So I think that they're also up there for me in terms of teams I'm looking for. That Exodus Merc rematch is going to be fantastic. I think Merc versus Dark Horse as well is going to be a really good match. A lot of games that of teams that don't typically play each other. Seeing them play will be fun, and this opening week we start with some really, really good games. So, what about you, Crawley? You gonna take the Raiders as well?
Yeah, of course, mate. I'm right. Yeah, I think
if you squint really hard, he looks like
I can't.
John Gruden.
Anything because. In my opinion, I think it's a 3-horse race at the moment. Like with Div 1, with Exodus, Merc, and Dark Horse, they're really good quality teams. I just think when it comes to who we will see around the final time, it will be the same 3, like always with Legion, 6, and Taco. And it's been like that for now, probably 3 seasons, I would say, in Division 1. Like, and not to discredit anything from Exodus, Merc, and Dark Horse. Like 3-5, we had a scrim against them on Grout Poolbox, and it took us the whole 85 minutes to really get in there and get solidated into capping that point. And we versed EXO 2 times in this preseason. They were great. So, and yeah, it's going to be a really, really good tight division. I think it's going to be probably one of the more tighter divisions of Div 1 standards than it has been.
Right. And last season, 6th, winning out the regular season, too. So, I think, what happens during the regular season, obviously, is always going to come secondary to what happens in the playoffs. But I think the regular season gives a lot of these teams a good opportunity to kind of size each other up. And I don't think that any of these teams is necessarily going to go undefeated either in the regular season. I think the competition's just that close right now. It wouldn't surprise me to see at any point, in this season, those top 3 teams have a loss, either against a team that you expect or a team that maybe you don't expect. I think it's really that kind of division, and to your point, I think it's going to be tighter than it ever has been in Division 1. BearJew, time for you to be the homer.
As the defending Summit champions and championship winners of TPL,
He's picking Merc.
I'm going to go
I really thought you were
No
signing
way,
up for the
really?
Wow.
Merc. Yeah, I thought you were going to go for the Merc pick there. I really did. You
were leaning on it. Those odds are too good not to pass up.
I will say I'm really curious about Exodus. Just because I think Cheeks understands map banning, and I think he understands the game as well. Obviously, I'm not going to put anyone above Legion, but I could see Exodus at 2, and that is entirely dependent on how people buy into the prep before the games, and then just building that cohesion across their team. So I'm going to go with Legion, of course, but I'm really excited to watch Exodus.
Yeah, I think...
sorry, guys. Who does I guess we'll touch on this in the matchup part. Exodus plays who, round 1?
Legion.
Rough start.
Tomorrow.
And last question I was going to ask is, since I haven't been in TPL, I'm a little bit ignorant to this. Have they changed the playoff format for the divisions? Is it going to be just top 5 teams, or?
I believe it's just top 5 teams. I could be wrong about that. It might just be all seeding, honestly, which I kind of don't mind in a game like Hell Let Loose, where one or more things are going to be uneven in your first time facing it. Like I mean, there's maybe like a handful, if that, of maps and midpoints where it's like a true 50-50. So, I don't particularly... I like the fact that, maybe you get out map banned one time, or, you get stuck with like, an unoptimized map where performance plays a bigger factor than usual. And, you get kicked out of the playoffs for that, or like contention when, it just as easily could have worked out a different way. So, yeah, BearJew, they all make the playoffs. So, yeah, it's all seeding here. So, that's another reason why I wouldn't be surprised if you see one, or all, really all of these teams end up with a 1 in the loss column at any point during the season. I'm going to go with the homer pick as well. I'm going, what's that?
I said we're gonna throw.
Yeah. Just throw all season, get last seed, beat first seed in the first round of the playoffs, and then cruise. But I'm gonna pick Legion. Obviously I'm very biased, but I think that the season that they put together, and that I was lucky to be a part of last season in a small capacity behind the wheel. Was one of the best seasons I've seen by a team, and again, extremely biased, but I think from all eras of our game, it'd be a hard team to beat. Is Summit 5 Legion, and hoping that TPL can continue the same momentum, but that's my genuine opinion about how last season's team was, and who knows what this season has in store. It's gonna... You reset the clock, and anything you did before the game starts tomorrow night doesn't matter at all. And you have to play, and you have to win the game. It's really anyone's game once the clock starts on those matches. So we do have some odds, like I said. So let's take a look here. This is just like a quick graphic I whipped up about with the odds that ChatGPT spit back out to me. So. Legion right now sitting at the highest odds, 31% chance to win at plus 225. Taco just slightly behind them at plus 275. Sixth at plus 425. Exo 750. Merc 1425, and 3-5 as the very dark horse 2325. But I think that that's a little bit unfair to them. I think that they have probably a better than 4% chance of winning this division. So we'll see how this starts to shake out as the season goes on and these wins and losses are tallied. But what do you guys think of this? BearJew, our odds maker, what do you think about this one?
I'd take out a mortgage and put it on Legion, and then I'd leverage my debt too.
That's a lot of pressure, dude. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I could stand that pressure. I think I saw Eagles say earlier that he would also mortgage his house on Legion, which you got some really bold people. I know I'm a believer too, but I don't know if I'm gonna risk my house.
No, honestly, like I think it just depends, as you were saying earlier. Like all of Summit, like as a team, like you and I talked, like it felt like we were firing on all cylinders, like across the board, top to bottom. Even the people who weren't starting, like someone would drop, and the person that came in knew, like, could hold their own, and then
Right.
two just knew what we were doing. And I think heading into TPL, it's not that long after Summit. I think we'll be right back there to that point.
Yeah, I think that they're, personally, I think that anytime you have a little bit of an off season, especially after a long season like Summit, not that it was a long season, but when you're going to the championship game and you're doing the prep every single week, there is a toll that takes on, your enjoyment a little bit. But I think the off season was just long enough to kind of refresh people, and I don't think it'll be very much, very long into the season before you see all these teams start to fire on all cylinders. I think everyone took a little bit of a break, especially with Battlefield Beta and a lot of the games that have come out in the last, call it 4 weeks. But I think that, you'll have some of the week one stuff that you see in the NFL even that we saw last weekend where the offenses come out a little slow. And, I think that every team is going to deal with that, but it's just, about keeping with it and keeping the dedication to the craft and the prep. But Crawley and Snow, what do you think about these odds? Any early bets you'd be making?
I'm actually a little surprised Taco is that close with Legion, in odds. And like you said, week one stuff. Who's Taco play? Probably 3-5 or somebody.
Yes, they do play
That
3-5.
Yeah, see, if it was me, if Taco was playing say EXO week one, I may be picking EXO that game, just because Taco's a team that's notorious for not prepping. They do prep, not scrimming. So not getting those scrims in, like you said, I feel like it's gonna be a big part. And you were talking to me before the show about Mert scrimming you guys, so that's good. But yeah, let's go 19% plus 425. I've made crazier bets. Put some chips there. Come on, Crawley. Will is in. All we got to do. Here's the prediction. I'm going to predict the whole season. Go ahead. Let's go. It's going to be Legion 6, St. Verville Church, War German. Let's go.
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. That's you know what you're doing with that.
Whoa.
The Taco did keep playing
Good
in the
match.
War League. I see in the chat here that they were playing in that to kind of keep them fresh in the in between, and we'll get into that very discussed, I suppose we'll say, finals match at the end of the show. But Awake says now he's not picking that midpoint for the final, just for you, Snow.
I want to counter that WWL. Legion and 6 kept playing every single week since Summit ended.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can't keep
Just
us away
maybe
from
there's-
Hell Let Loose.
Yeah. Were we all there? And was some of us playing other games? Yes, but we were still in there. Did we go 85 minutes against 3-5 and nearly lose? Yes, but we're still here.
It's fine to lose a scrim. It's people should not be afraid of losing scrims. But
And it wasn't
That's great.
And the scrim was, we gave them Grout Pillbox, so a notoriously heavily favored allied
Right.
point, and it was a grind. We've tested it out, and so we only just our last scrim heading into this season. Like we've done EXO, we've done Legion, we did 3-5. Like, yeah, and we played EXO and SME and we won that, and that was to help them in their prep for the Winter War League. So yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting. But I know where I'd be putting my money at.
6 has some good odds, or some nice odds there at plus 425. So you can make a nice little chunk
A lot
of
of money
change
to be
with
made
that.
with that bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I say a lot of money to be made with that.
Alrighty, let's get into the matchups here. So we'll go again from D5 and then up. So our first matchup here is GOAT versus OCL on Hill 400, and the midpoint on Hill 400 here is Flak Pits. GOAT is the Allies and OCL is the Axis. So lunatic type pick here with Hill 400, but what are you guys thinking? Open table here.
OCL 5-0.
OCL. They're the Axis on that.
Dude,
I'm gonna go
yeah,
4-1. OCL 4-1. And I only say that because Hill 400 is a very painful map to play on, and so it's very hard to catch people on flanks. And I remember casting GOAT. It was my first cast with Caparzo in Harley.
Yeah, we did.
I think it'll be. I think GOAT could recap it later on in the game and either win it 3-2, or OCL will win it 4-1.
I think that's a good take there, with OCL being, I think, the favorite coming into this one. But what do you think, Snow and Crawley?
Yeah, I'm going OCL. I think OCL win 3-2 at least. They could push for more, but just with how they've been performing outside, I haven't really watched like many GOAT games, but a few I've watched, they're going to be a good opponent. But I just think OCL with the run into TPL,
Yeah, I'm with the crowd on that one. So we'll keep it moving and go to the second match in D5, which is ROPS versus SAP on Utah. That is WN4. We have ROPS as the Axis on this one. So, I think that they come in probably with the advantage from that perspective. The STG is pretty powerful on this one, but WN4 I think is an interesting one for the Allies too, because you can really kind of boot the Germans out entirely if you are able to cap first. BearJew?
I'm going Ross 5-0.
Think Ross starts out strong with the 5-0?
Ruff's 5-0.
You said they're allies, right?
Ross
Or
is
Axis?
the Axis. No, I think BearJew might be out. Oh, no.
Kind of changes things for me a little bit.
Oh, it does?
I don't know, because I know that it's very difficult as Axis, especially as you said, if you get kicked out. But I'm just gonna go Ross 4-1. That's what my gut says.
You in agreement with that,
Is it my
Snow?
turn? No, absolutely not. SAP 3-2. Bet the fucking house. Let's go.
You see Awake saying the same thing. Maybe there's something.
Oh,
maybe
shit.
there's something to that. All right.
Oh yeah, I mean, like this is the gods of Hell Let Loose coming to you down to smite Ross for being in this fucking division.
I think experience wins the day here, and I think Ross takes this one home.
SAP,
Yeah.
You can't understand me. You got this. Focus, prep, and then just push front line with 10 minutes left in the game. You'll win.
Easy money.
100%.
Continuing with Division 5, we have the last game here, which is 50A versus 75th on Elsenborn, which is going to be Dugout Tank on that map. And as far as faction here, we have 50A as the Allies and 75th as the Axis.
75th.
Yeah, 75th.
75th.
the fuck? What midpoint is dugout? I don't play this map. Is it the north one?
It's the top, yeah, the very top. So you have the big cliff,
Cliff. Okay.
and if you get if you get that Axis tank there,
Yeah.
I'm gonna play. I'm
JJ.
75th with a 4-1.
Yeah, I think because of what we said earlier when we were going through the divisions, I think 75th probably comes out on top here too. Elsenborn is a hilarious map to see this on though, and this is going to be casted, and we'll show the castings that are in after we go through these matches. But this is one that I'm going to be tuning into for sure. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm streaming this one on Sunday, I want to say. I got to check my schedule. But so this is one that I'm definitely excited for. So we're all with the 75th here.
Yeah.
So now we're
Look
on
at the SAP love.
to
Leonardo.
to D4 with 508P and SAS on Carentan. The first of many Carentans that we'll be talking about, so we'll try to keep the map talk to just maybe this one here, but this is on Canal Crossing, and again we're going to see that a lot, and 508P is the allies here. So let's talk a little bit about Carentan, because it's going to be a topic of discussion a lot here in the next couple minutes, but allies on Carentan, which is the 508P side, what do you guys think? We're all playing Carentan this week, so without probably giving away too much, what is your take here, Snow?
Armor has to control that north. Need armor in that hedgerow if you're allies. That very north hedgerow can look over the entire point and shoot any armor that comes on on the little yellow road on the river.
Right.
If you're 508P's Axis, right?
508P is the allies. SAS
allies,
is the
yeah, so if you're
Axis.
And if you're SAS, those tanks need to be in that factory complex across the river, trying to knock out those tanks and form a collective push. It's Canal Crossing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's all the same midpoint. Yeah, that would be my take, at least with the armor side of it. You excuse me. All you guys are infantry textbook armor placements on this map.
And Crawley, are you kind of in line with that from an infantry perspective? Me, BearJew, and yourself kind of can speak more to that side of things from the infantry side.
I think infantry side, yes. I'd rather be from the Allies' perspective, but I just feel for the two teams that we have in our screen, I just think SAS will win due to their comp experience in Hell EU. And to be honest, I haven't really seen much of 508P in the past few games, and I don't really see much of them, while I see the SAS is pretty active. So I just think they would win just on their infantry alone through as the Axis on Canal Crossing. But I just feel if I had to pick and I wanted to play infantry on this map, I'd want rather the allies.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's kind of like a toss-up, because I think the terrain is kind of nicer for the allies. But when you get close into the point, I think the Germans really kind of get more of an advantage because of the kit that they have available to them in those factory areas, and that intermediate kind of hedge fighting is kind of where the STG starts to dominate. Sure, when you get in close, the Tommy gun is an equivalent in my mind. But I think Carentan is a tough map when you get south of the bridge for the allies. Now, everything north of the bridge, I think, is good for the allies. You have a much easier lead-in with the tanks. The Germans really have no lead-in with the tanks, unless you're going to do the boat bridge with armor, which is, with some of the collision that you see on these boats and these tanks is not a repeatable type of thing. Yeah, especially during these matches where, connection isn't guaranteed. But, yeah, go ahead, Snow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if you do get the tank across the bridges, you still have to dismount off the bridges by going in the water, and you're still susceptible to drowning the tank.
Exactly. Yeah,
But
it's dangerous territory.
SAS with a 4-1.
I'm going to 508P.
By the way, Payne.
What?
508P 3-2.
And we played with some 508P the other night, filling in for us in a scrim against 3-5. So, I know that their players are familiar with the map and, know how to play it. So I think that can definitely help it. And I think for that reason, I'm going to take 508P as well, 3-2. I just liked what I saw of them earlier this week.
You guys don't know about my boy Flavors over there working.
Yeah,
SAS.
Yeah, Flavors is a good player. I've 8th refugee, right?
8 refugee.
All right. So let's check out this next match here.
And Sassiana.
Right, the SAS legends over there. We have another Carentan, TRR versus KRC this time. TRR is the Axis and KRC is the Allies. All the same things of Carentan Canal Crossing apply. So let's talk a little bit more about the teams here. BearJew, what would your prediction be, keeping in mind that TRR is the Axis here?
I like KRC because I hear they got a squad over there that they call George Squad, and I hear that's some of the best players that have ever played the game. So I'm gonna go with KRC.
Obvious.
George Squad is a very strong force, and I am also picking KRC.
I'm just kidding. That was a little inside joke, but I'm gonna go with TRR.
Yeah, I think a lot of these players, there's been a lot of movement between these two teams as well in terms of the experience. So I think the experience gap is pretty close, honestly. I think because I picked TRR as one of my higher end favorites for this division, I'm going to pick them here to win. But I think it's going to be interesting on this particular map in mid. Canal Crossing is just such an interesting point to me.
Yeah, and I disagree. I agree with everything you said about the pick, and you're picking because you think I have KRC as my little dark horse. I mean, you're giving KRC a team that's been around for four years nearabouut. Favorable map and faction. Oh, come on, KRC. You don't have to flank this game. Just take mid and sit. You win.
Yeah.
Keep them across. Don't let them get across. Don't do no red zone behind them on customs. Take it and sit.
It's probably going to be a 3-2 here unless TRR can get some momentum going. But I think this is probably going to be a closer one than maybe people think coming into the week. We'll take a break from Carentan and go over to Utah Beach with our favorite new Brazilian clan, 3LPZ versus MSU. So our favorite from earlier. Utah Beach, the midpoint here is WN4, as we were talking about earlier with Roths. So the axis here is going to be 3LPZ and MSU playing the Allies. So MSU being a favorite and then having the favorable faction as well, I think is gonna go well for them here in week one.
Yeah, I go MSU 5-0.
Yeah, 3LPZ is kind of the unknown commodity right now. So I think we're going to learn a lot about who they are as a team, especially playing against a good team like MSU. But, I think I agree with you, Crawley. I think that this is probably going to be, at least a 4-1 for MSU, given the map favor and their ability to kind of kick the Germans out of that sector. I think it sets you up nicely for an attack, particularly if it's offset to where the second point is in the middle. You can build up really, really easily at the church there and launch right into their point. I think a lot of things go in MSU's favor if that's the case. BearJew?
I'm going MSU just because I like their banner. I think that thing looks sick.
It is so cool. I mean, 3LPZ is really cool too.
One of the boys
looks like my view out of Wollongong.
Oh,
Sorry.
Shut up. One of the boys from the Six, who formerly played for MSU, actually made the badge for MSU.
It's so good looking.
Yeah. little shout out the Muffin Man. But yeah,
Oh, Muff made it. I
yeah,
didn't know
Muff
that.
made it. Yeah. But yeah, MSU, I think just win 4-1 minimum, 5-0 max. Oh, obviously, dickhead.
So
I think they come in and make a statement. They win 5-0 in an hour and 11 minutes.
oh, not a second more. So that wraps up Division 4. So we're into now Division 3. We have the Battle of the Frenchmen with L90 versus R22R. This one's on San Maria Glees with Checkpoint as the midpoint. L990 playing as the allies here, and R22R as the axis. So Checkpoint's a point that we see a lot in the competitive scene nowadays. BearJew, why don't you talk a little bit about this matchup here first, and what you think?
I'm gonna go R22R, but I think this game entirely will depend on who controls the South. It is hard for the Axis to get across, especially if it's taken control by the Allies. I could see it going either way. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go R22R.
Snow.
About to do some groveling here to try and get back into TPL. Here we go. Let's listen to this.
So back
I mean,
versus
Little BearJew, hear me clear. Hear me whole. Whole world knows R22R is coming in here to make a statement, okay? Like, they're going to come in here, and this game may be over before the delay is started. I'm not even going to lie. like LeBearJew has got this team tightened up. Like, every screw is at smash, torqued down, it has Loctite on. That's how tightened up this boat is. So, I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about. It's going to be a straight game.
No
Easy.
ulterior motive behind that pick at all.
No. 5-0, 22 minutes and 48 seconds.
Crawley, are you with the squad here with R22R, or are you picking L90?
He says,
Yeah. I'm going R22R. I think Hero and the BearJew have got their team really moving. I think the previous help from a few LGM boys, I think they're just going to be really hard to beat. And at L90, I've seen players come in, I've seen players leave there in the transfer market, so I don't know how they're going to compete or how they will compete, I should say. It'd be interesting to see. They could end up proving us all wrong and then being a dark horse as itself. But
Right.
yeah, I think R22R win.
Yeah, I'm with you boys on that one. I think that this might be like a 3-2-4-1 type game. It's going to really depend on if the team who caps retains momentum enough to push on fourth. But I think R22R, given their experience in having played a lot of these tournaments and built themselves up from, the lower divisions, that's going to make the difference here. So I am picking R22R. Our next match in Division 3 is ANZR versus the 21st Army Group on Kursk. This one is the Windmills, which is not a point that we see typically, and
Right.
the Axis is 21st here. So Windmills is one of the Kursk points that, again, we really don't encounter very much at all. So what do you think about that? I mean, Snow, we'll start with you as an armor guy. That's kind of the name of the game on Kursk. The Germans being 21st, that's usually bodes well.
See, I disagree. I like the Russians with Windmills, but that's just me. If 21st ain't careful, ANZR can lock them in their spawn. Whoever has control of the Windmills is going to completely lock armor away from their spawn. Oh,
Right.
It's muffin time. Give me one. Bring them in.
What did you plan? What did you plan this one?
Thank you very much. Awake ass for muffin. Thank you.
You got your 2% milk there, or what do you got?
Just water. No, close it. We're good.
Wow, what service Snow's getting? This is the the high level of production value we bring you. Snow's muffin break.
What's the over? What's the over under and how many you can eat?
So I got 4 here, bro. I got 4.
I think you can do
I'm no
better
way
than
I'm-
that.
I'm not eating 4. So, yeah, you were cooked. I can't eat 4.
I wasn't sure if there was like
What
a
kind of muffins are
muffin joke in ANZR versus 21st somewhere, but yeah, what kind of muffins are there?
Blueberry, and Caparzo puts like a counter in the bottom right. Just adds
I wasn't prepared for the muffins. I was prepared for the tacos.
I
but
wasn't either.
Maybe I need to keep a
Awake
perma Snow like 1x1 frame of when he decides he's gonna eat on during the podcast.
Awake said something about muffins, like Snow's thinking about muffins. I was like, do I have muffins? And they do sound really good right now. So, anyway, NGR 5-0,
As the
72 minutes.
72 minutes. Okay, so it's going to take them a little longer than the other ones you predicted. But Crawley, what do you think, knowing ANZR so well?
Answer. They actually scrimmed on this map against TFMC and they actually won. They held Yamke, they held the crossroads, held intersection, they held windmills really well. So, I'd be more concerned if it was nighttime for ANZR, but considering it's day and, with how open Kursk is, you could sit somewhere with a sniper in the back line and you can see the guys trying to wrap around you. Like, if they turtle up for the 3-2 at windmills, it's going to be really tough time to take it back, especially when they get their tanks up and they get the rep stations up.
Yeah,
it's going to be a really tough time for 21st. Yeah, like, there's not many entry points to get there. They get this favoured point. It's on the favoured side. So, yeah, I'm going ANZR at 4-1, 3-2 minimum. Yeah.
BearJew?
I'm going to agree with Crawley on this one. I think it's very hard to recap as access and even just cap in itself because, the routes to windmills Russians are so much quicker. And then, after the cap, the game goes on, just open ground to push, especially if, ANZR is controlling Yamke. As Crawley said, they did very well in their game. So I'm going to go ANZR 3-2, and I'm going 3-2 because I'm just going to, as difficult it is to push in, it's as difficult to push out.
Right.
100%.
Yeah, I would go with the 3-2 as well here with ANZR. But this is, anytime we get like a little bit of an off meta, it's a game I look to catch. So we'll go on over here to the second to last of it. Oh yeah, this is the last Division 3 match. 101A versus 1 SBS on Utah Beach. Remember, Utah is WN4, and we have 101A as the axis here. So, we talked a little bit about Utah Beach, but just speaking about these two teams specifically, 101A comes with the pedigree from Winter War League, having won a couple times, and then 1 SBS, been around in TPL for a while. I think that they were in D2 last year, so dropping down to D3 here, and I think that this is kind of like a toss-up match. I think 101A probably comes out on top with a little bit of the experience, but and then being the allies, I think helps them out a little bit too. So that would be my pick here. Crawley, why don't you go second here?
I think, what's the midpoint again? Sorry.
WN4, and the allies is 1 SBS.
I'm going 1 SBS. I think 1 SBS on the allies could do some damage, but 101A, like everyone said today, proven team, Winter War, 2-time winners, won their championship against, was it Pathfinders last season in TPL, so it'll be interesting to see, but I just think with the allies on Utah Beach with WN4, it's going to be a really tough time for 101A.
Snow?
I'm going 101A. Oh, sorry.
No, that you could make. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there, BearJew. So you're gonna go with your guy there, Snow, with 1 SBS. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, those damn things are so dry. It's like a Popeye's biscuit. Anyway. Fuck, dude. Damn. Anyway, trying to plump up for TPO so we can take a midpoint. Anyway, yeah, I think winning the SBS is gonna win this. I think it's funny. It's 101A and it says 101ST. It's like the 8ST, 8s or third. Anyway, the logo is funny. It's kind of fucked up. Anyway, you know for now. Yeah, 101A was a really dominant team in their like season 1 and 2 of Winter War League, but they have since lost some players and also a really familiar person I never had any issues with. I don't think a lot of the community had issues with them, even if they hated the 101A team. 24 or MAG 24 was always a pretty respectful guy, and he is since no longer there or he's retired. So a team without the leader that's been there for 2 years is going to be really tough to be really strong. Plus, one SBS is coming off one of their best seasons, in my opinion.
Yeah, they did play really well last season. Keeping it with now Division 2, we have the 22nd versus HLLE. So this is a very interesting matchup. We're on Carentan Canal Crossing again, and the factions here, let me pull this up, is 22nd as the Axis. So all the same rules apply on Carentan. There's one thing we haven't talked about that we always talk about that always plays into the factor of this map for the allies too. So we'll see if HLE, if they're not able to come away with the midpoint here, and if they do get the dreaded ruins point, it might be a little bit difficult for them. I think I'm going to pick 22nd here, though, 3-2. I think this is going to be one of the closest games of the week. I think it's probable that we'll have midpoint change hands more than once. I'm more interested just to see how HLE looks here in week 1 after such a long time of really not getting to watch them play in a TPL format match.
I think all the pressure is on HLE, and it's unfortunate, as I spoke on earlier. I think every single game that they go into this season, they're going to have all the pressure on them.
Right.
Maybe just some of those guys that they have back are used to playing against 7th for a title. They're not used to being, no offense, but like down lower. So it's a must win. If you're HLE, it's a must win. So I'm going to pick HLE to win this in a very, very close game. Wait, who did you say was allies? 22nd?
The allies is HLE.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'll have HLE winning this in a 3-2. But you gotta win, HLE. This is your toughest opponent nearly in this bracket. It's gonna be very hard. One of your toughest opponents, I should say. This is a must win.
We have Laggy in the chat saying BearJew's giving Jersey Daddy curls and sick Discord building skills. Who wouldn't fall for that?
Yeah, I'm building a new one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The new Legion Discord. Rest in peace. We're getting now to the best of the banner pictures here, and we'll go. Oh wait, no. Actually, let's Crawley and BearJew. We need to get your takes on this one.
Hellily.
Yeah, they were your
I'm
early
going
pick.
3-2. Yeah, I'm going Hellily 3-2. I think with the players that they got back, that have gone like the OG Hallelujah players that have gone back to them, I think they're going to really help the newer generation, really steady the ship, and I think they're going to lock it out for a 3-2 win.
BearJew?
Am I froze?
You look like you might be.
I could see HLE winning. I think Snow said it great. I think this is a must-win game for them, especially set the tone for the season. But then again, now I think you said Smithers was playing 22nd this year.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's playing this game. Maybe Awake can give us the heads up on that.
If Smithers is playing, it's a different story.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of knowledge of the game on 22nd. Like, just combination of different people. Wake, Smithers, and a few others. So I'm just going to go with 22nd. 3-2, by the way.
3-2 on 22nd.
No, he's casting. So, there you go.
Yeah, but still, going into that game, just having prep and
All
knowledge.
that knowledge.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be my most must-watch of the week, but we'll go full screen here for this next one because it's the best background in the league here. But TFMC versus 9PZ in Division 2, Omaha Beach, artillery battery as the middle point here. And who will be the allies? Let me just double check that. The allies is TFMC here. So I think that they have the advantage with this point here. What do you guys think, BearJew?
What did you say mid was? Your bill?
Artillery battery.
Artillery.
Oh. I'm gonna go TFMC. I don't know why, but my gut is just saying TFMC.
That's an interesting pick.
Feeling upset.
Malarkey says TFMC will 6-0 them.
I'm gonna go with the devil's advocate. I'm gonna say 9PZ.
Not very true blue of you.
Yeah, it's not very true blue of me, but I just feel with in the bigger comp experience of all side of things with playing in Summit last season. I know Winter War League, and it's not to discredit anything from Winter War League, but 9PZ versus Legion, even though they didn't do too well in their last match, as we all saw from the flamethrower jet carts that were moving around the map. But like for them to actually play in a format where they're all similar on the similar caliber, they may have lost a few, but I think 9PZ win 3-2.
I am back. Hello?
Yeah,
Okay.
we got you.
We're good. Sorry about that. I shook my keyboard and I disturbed the equilibrium of the entire setup.
Yeah, you.
I had muffin.
No, you just stand up, mate. You just stand it up.
Okay.
That's what you did.
You got muffin crumbs in your PC.
Dude, that's exactly what happened. I had muffin crumbs in the keyboard, so I was shaking it. Anyway, 9PZ clear sweep. I mean, they're my preseason pick. I think it's gonna be pretty. I think it's gonna be 5-0. I got a lot of 5-0s this week, except till we get to D1. Yeah, I think it's gonna be 5-0. But I think it's gonna go to test of time. I think it's gonna be like one of those 85 minutes, one of those cat at the very end. He kind of gives up. I ate a muffin. Okay. Yeah, it's fucking comment. Dude, Awake's supposed to be a mod, and he's just worse than them. I don't even know what we pay him for.
But
Muffin Orbit. Yo, what the fuck?
I'll take 9PZ here too. But we'll get into now D1 with Taco versus 3-5 on Omaha. Another artillery battery game, and this one is going to have Taco playing as the allies here. So Taco Zagan now playing as the allies instead of the Germans. So I think that this is obviously plays to their favor with the midpoint, and it's definitely the favored faction. And I think that Taco probably takes this one 3-2 to 4-1. From playing from experience with playing against 3-5, they're a very, very difficult team to kind of take ground against. You can kind of get stalemated pretty easily against them, and they know all the spots on the map where they can really benefit from the positioning. So I don't think it's going to be a 5-0 here. I think this probably ends up a 3-2 or maybe a 4-1 for Taco. If it's a 4-1, though, I don't think it's going to be a 4-1 that happens quickly. I think that they probably get a 4-1 in the last 30 or so minutes. That wouldn't surprise me. Crawley, what are you thinking coming into this first D1 match here?
I'm going Taco 4-1.
Yeah,
I think they're going to control Artie Batty really well. Like we obviously played Taco last season in Summit for this, and we were the allies. And yeah, I think they're a really complete team. So I think they win 4-1.
BearJew?
Is BearJew gone?
No, my screen shut off.
Jew didn't pay
I'm
the
gonna
power
go. That's crazy. I'm gonna go Taco, and I think whether it's 3-2 or 4-1 is entirely dependent on whether the 3-5 second point is either Church Road or I don't remember the bottom one.
Orchards.
Is it Orchards?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I think if it's head on and in line, I think it'll be a 3-2 because I think 3-5 will be very difficult to push against. But if it's offset, it'll be 4-1.
Snow, you in agreement there?
I have 4-1 Taco no matter what, no matter if it's in line or offsetting. They played us really, really tough, so I almost want to pick 3-5 for this game. Dude, if Taco's anyone else but 3-5, I would be picking another team. Just because I think, they play Winter War League. I think Taco's going to make a few mistakes early on, and then typically we all are, I think, personally. But
the odds calculator for that we were looking at earlier would go crazy if that happened. I almost want to see that happen for that purpose, just to see how that impacts things. But this is a game that I'm casting, and I'm really, really excited for it. I'm going to be casting from the 3-5 side on this one.
Over under, what's the time we're thinking Death Face Rage Quits?
Oh my god.
Oh.
We're not going to get into that one on this show. We need a couple more alcohol drinks going around before that happens.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if 3-5 won the armor battle.
I really wouldn't either.
Because this point, it's like, in the meta of the game, like with tanking, it is entirely dependent, first off, on infantry support. Like, the cohesion between your infantry and your tanks. And I think with this point, this is a point that 3-5 can not rely on their infantry as much when it comes to protecting their tanks. So I could see, 3-5 winning. Sorry, refer to them as Dark Horse is their new name. I could see them winning the armor engagement, and that will be a pivotal part of the game.
Yeah, just like Taco did to us. Taco was allowed to sit their tanks back behind hedges where we had to push through that open field, coming off the beach. If I'm 3-5, I'm having infantry on that beachhead that's working on those tanks coming up. Like, there's only one or two routes they're getting up on that hill, just like Taco did to us. But I would definitely, if I'm 3-5, sappers galore on that hill.
Right.
Those tanks don't really have nothing to do. They can't do much up there.
Yeah, I think that I'm definitely excited to cast this one, and it's going to be one of the gems of the weekend, I think. But we move on to now Legion versus EXO. This is on Carentan. Legion playing as the Germans here, and EXO as the Allies. So another canal crossing game. BearJew, why don't you lead us off on this one?
I'm gonna go Legion 4-1. We win at 4-1. That's all you're getting out of me. I ain't going into depth strategy.
Yeah.
I refuse to say nothing.
Yeah,
I ain't saying shit.
I'm not able to play this one. I'm gonna be doing a cast a little bit earlier, and then I'm out of the house for the rest of the day. So this is one of those ones that unfortunately I'm gonna have to sweat out while I'm at dinner and at an apartment little party in the city, and just trying to be a little social, but also keeping a close eye on the cast to assuage some anxiety about the whole thing. I hate having to watch it that way, but I'm gonna pick Legion probably. I'll say 3-2. I just think that Canal Crossing's a really hard point to push off of. If it's Ruins, that instantly changes to a 4-1 to me, or at least, a more confident 3-2. But I think this is going to be a really close one. We see Laggy in chat picking EXO 3-2. He says, Maho fucks the snipes and Divinity, not a mentality monster. Heard it here first. So a little bit of bulletin board material for you, Divinity, and we're not doing snipes this season, Laggy. I just take the main road and you'll be fine. Right? I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, this season we're using medics.
Yeah.
That's the new meta.
Yeah, we're
Remember,
just
they
trying
don't
to
even have a Discord.
Yeah.
Remember, they don't even have a Discord.
No Discord to organize any of the snipes this time either, so...
BearJew actually may be getting arrested anytime, so
yeah.
their lead strategist is gone. Francis has been locked up since Summit ended. I mean, they're in shambles.
Yeah, his bail
I don't know who Francis is.
Malau?
There's that new player running around. No, I don't know who he is. I'm looking at Lingy Yangi, or what his
Ling
name is.
Yang?
He's a good player.
Yeah, Ling Yang.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yang.
Yeah, it's a bit weird because you expect Chinese, but then you hear a Frenchman speaking. So I don't know where Francis is gone, but I hope he comes back.
His dad is Chinese. His mom is French.
That's right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Ling Yang is top fragger. What do you guys think? Snow, why don't you go first here?
I think Legion wins this 3-2, 4-1 if it's Ruins.
But no shooters. What do you think? Is that going to hurt them?
All the prep that Legion has, it doesn't even matter.
I'm the same. I'm going.
One of the most... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm going 3-2, but if it's Ruins, 4-1.
Yeah. The most insane quote anyone's ever quoted me out, Caparzo. Completely taken out of context. Sounded like Nick Wright about someone picking against the Chiefs.
Yeah, it is. That's a good comparison. Alrighty, so we got one game left. It's one involving you guys, so you guys can make your homer picks. But to wrap up this episode and this weeks of games predictions, we have the 6 Airborne Raiders versus Merc on Carentan. Remind me, you guys are the allies. 6 is the allies, and Merc is the Axis. So, not going to ask you guys to get into too much, but what are your feelings going to this Crawley?
I'm going us to win.
Bold.
3-2 or 4-1. 3-2 or 4-1. Yeah, I think we win.
Pick one.
Customs.
4-1-6.
Customs is tough if you guys get that as a 4th. That's going to be your biggest barrier to a 4-1 is customs.
Yeah.
If it's the, like train crossing or something like that in the middle, that's a different story. But I think that, I'm with you guys on that pick. I think 6th is the better team right now. We haven't seen Merc play in TPL in a while. In Summit, they played really well, though. So I think that between that and their pickups, this could be a close one. I'm going to go with 3-2, just because, these are D1 teams, and I'm going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, at least week 1. So I think that this is a close 3-2, but it's going to be a probably a little bit longer of a mid-cap than just a straight 2-minute cap to the point. So I think that's the thing that I'm going to be looking for the most in this game.
Not if they lose their trucks.
You guys are playing allies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go 6-3-2.
So there might be some
some
truck action here. So casters, if you're listening, make sure you're in position to capture those, because I love watching that.
Merc knocks out all of our trucks, and we're forced to only use half tracks.
Only half tracks, only
I think
half track
that,
glitches.
Awake said change my name to Muffin Man for this match. I'm actually go by Black Mass now. It's very fitting of my personality, so we're now Black Mass. Okay, thanks for showing the solo gap when he gets more reinforced.
We won't snipe.
Snow
Yeah,
just swallowed.
yeah. I think
I
a
think
lot
that,
of mental games being played.
I'm not even tanking this game. I actually might be on the MG. And they're right, Crawley.
Yeah, I'm playing medic all game.
BearJew, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, I honestly think that you guys will cap it first, but after that, I think it'll just stalemate. I think we just scrim Merc, but they played how they should have played it, and I think you guys are gonna have a hard time advancing after that. So I'm gonna go Merc 3-2. If it ends in a 4-1, it's coming in around the 80 minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point too that you make. Legion having scrimmed Merc fairly recently, where Merc played the Germans on this, and they were a very, very tough team to kind of push out of into their red zone. They had a lot of good spawns built up that made the reflank for them very, very easy, and they definitely played it the way that you need to around those factories in particular. So I think that this is going to be an interesting one, but I am going to pick the 6th. Now, if we look at the schedule for the weekend, so here's the schedule in Eastern Times in chronological order. The only change that I have to announce here now is the ANZR versus 21st will be casted by Brown, of the World Cup Discord. So he's new to the casting team, so he'll be filling in there in that ANZR match on Sunday morning Eastern time. So other than that, everything you see is what you're going to get. I'm certainly excited for the matches that I'm streaming, the 50A versus 75th, and then the Taco versus 3-5 on Sunday. So lots of great matches this weekend, and realistically, guys, once we get to 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, you won't be without a competitive Hell Let Loose game to watch until you go to bed on Saturday, and then you can wake up extremely early to some 6 versus Merc at 4:30 a.m. and then
what the fuck? I didn't realize it was 4:30.
Yeah, you're
dude. What the fuck, Crawley?
Are you pulling an all-nighter?
Oh, I always do. All the Americans stay up. It's like 20 of us, and we'll just stay up and play. We'll hop in one of our social VCs and play. Fuck, dude, 4:30. What the fuck, Crawley? You messed us with that. It's normally 6.
It's normally 6, but we'll be right.
Yeah, so it's going to be some fun games to start your day. You get a little break in the afternoon before the big Taco versus 3-5 match, and then you can get a multi-stream up for those 3 games in the afternoon, wrapping it up with KRC versus TRR at 3:30. So I'm excited to cast all these, and I'm very excited to watch them.
I just wanted to say I'm pretty sure the Legion Exo game is at 8:30. So if you want to tune in, 30-minute delay. Never mind. I'm stupid. Sorry.
Idiot.
You're good.
So does that mean ours is at 4?
And you go
Yeah.
right.
4. So it's not
Nice,
that bad,
yeah.
Snow. You
4 is arguably
No,
worse.
it's arguably better because what we do is we stay up all night. But then, fuck, dude, because I got work in the morning, so I gotta be at work at like 9.
You're gonna need some muffins.
Yeah.
You
got a carbo
I'm gonna be
load
good.
with those muffins.
I'm gonna get me a fucking hearty super biscuit. Wake me up.
The breakfast
We
of
are not
champion
sponsored by
right there.
Unless
So we're already
We
running
take
a
all
little
sponsors.
bit longer, but I do want to just in this wrap up segment, we'll touch upon the Winter War League. I guess drama, for lack of a better word. So for those out there who are unfamiliar, EXO and Taco played in the Winter War League finals. that league has a rule where you can't, there's a lot of different things where you have 3-man artillery is still a thing. You can destroy nodes. The Panthers in play. But one of the things that you can't do is go onto the roofs of houses in a glitching manner. So Taco wins the match. On stream, they see one of the players on Taco on one of those roof glitch spots. They invalidate the win for Taco, so EXO wins by default. EXO declines to accept the win by default. So I guess if anyone out there wants to be a Winter Warrior League champion, just put it in your bio. Like, what can they say, right? So
we can claim it.
All right, yeah, you could be Winter Warrior League champions now.
Let's go.
In my opinion, I think that's
say-
ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Like, honestly, when you think about it, that is utterly ridiculous. Like, and I was reading through the Winter War League chat, and then I think one of the Taco players didn't even get a proper correspondence of why, like, it happened. But for this game, with all the broken metas you have the recon sniper glitch where you can kick players out of your squad. You've got the half-track glitch. You've got all these other glitches. You can put AT cannons everywhere. You like pretty much on top of bunkers and stuff like that. But for a player to be on a roof where you can shoot him off it, and it's not your fault, and it's not his fault that you're not like smart enough to look up there and go, oh, he's up there, I'll shoot him down. For you to lose a final because he stayed on a roof for maximum a few minutes and killed a few guys, doesn't mean that you it doesn't hold any value to the game. If he's dropped 150 players up there, then yeah, maybe, and he's in a proper spot where you can't shoot him. But that's ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, and I know Winter War League is probably like, it's a really good competition, but you really need to look at your rules because that's not right. That's just my opinion, by the way.
Credit for EXO for not accepting it. It takes like a lot.
Yeah, that's big ups to them for doing that, man.
That's Trill, a fellow Jew.
The Winter War League was promised to me 2,000 years ago.
I don't get how, as a league, you can like have like a rule set that kind of is just the game design. So killable arty, destructible nodes, but a part of the game is the window glitch, and I just don't understand how you can have those rules of just the game itself and the way it's designed and something that they haven't patched. Like, I could understand like sitting inside the chimney, but like clipping, but just being on a roof where you can be shot back, I think I don't know, I just think that should be changed.
Yeah,
and not even that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that, it unfortunately was the only thing that Winter War League could have done was to invalidate the championship, because how are you going to have that be in your rule book and then it comes up in the biggest stage of your tournament and you don't enforce it because I don't really think the rule was a good idea in the first place. It's like, well, who's to say that teams would have been doing that all season long? And while I don't think it's a game-changing thing, it's not like a go on roof to win type situation. I think that it's something teams avoided doing throughout the season and might have impacted how they played the point and could have factored into them not ending up there. Now, I think at the beginning of the season, we all acknowledged that this is probably going to be the final between EXO and Taco. Like, that's just speaking frankly. I don't think it mattered in the game, so I don't think Taco I don't think Taco lost this game. I don't think anyone thinks that. I don't think EXO thinks that, which is why they probably are declining winning by default. No one wants to win like that. So, in a bad situation, I think it worked out the only way that it could have worked out. And, the only thing that you maybe hope for or, think of is either changing the rules in the off season if that's what the organizers want to do. It's their league after all. And two, if people want to play in that rule set, and that's on the teams as well. So that's my take on it.
Why not do a rematch?
Go ahead.
Why not do a rematch?
Rematch? Only being on roofs. Floor is lava.
No, I'm saying what if they're gonna instead of invalidating the team, they should just invalidate the result and do a rematch.
I mean, regardless of the roof glitch, Taco took back Hospice as allies. That in itself is already difficult to do, in my opinion.
Right.
So
Sweet. Yeah, that's crazy.
Like,
We couldn't
I
do
just
it.
think, yeah, if you're an organizer of the league, I think we've all said it. It's just how can you do that when you leave the whole game mechanics as itself to do. You even have a wheel spin for a map. Like, come on. But for someone standing on the roof, you turn around and say, "Oh no, it's not allowed." No.
Yeah, both teams said
Wonder
that
who
they didn't
reported
want to
it.
do it.
I wonder who reported it first.
Well, it was on stream, so like, you know, anyone who is, I think it was even in that last 30 minutes where the both teams like then go and watch the cast of the last 30 minutes. So like, you know, there's a lot of eyeballs on it. And yeah, I don't think it mattered. I don't think the person who did it should feel bad about it at all either. Like, you know, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
That's
It's just like in wartime, see glitches that could actually happen in real life. I'd never get mad at. Like, obviously, you can't stand in like the plaster of a wall and shoot people through it and kill them in real life. But I promise you, in like World War II, it was definitely people on top of rooftops.
They were doing the
and
roof
machine
glitch
guns.
in World War II.
Yeah, yeah. I promise you, there was somebody up there shooting with a Car 98 or some God knows what up there. I mean, simple things like that. Like you could physically hop out the window and hop onto a roof in real life and in the game.
Right.
Maybe it's designed.
Do you think they were doing the half track glitch too in real life?
Yeah, I do.
They could, they would. But guys, this is a really, really fun episode, and Crawley, thanks for joining us again for some more like the higher division
great.
action. BearJew, thanks for joining us, being a guest insider here tonight. But next week, guys, we'll be back at it with the recap of all these matches that we discussed, and a little bit of a preview for next week. We'll try to consolidate the format a little bit more because I know we went pretty long tonight, but you know, boys, it was a pleasure having you, everyone out there. It was great having you tune in and comment, and I am so ready for some more Hell Let Loose action this week. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to bringing you that breakdown next week, everyone. So until then, good luck this weekend, and take care, everyone. We will see you in the next one.